All right, how's it going? Here to make this another movie for the GMs. I said in my last video a while back that I would be making another video. I kind of simply went through what each job is for the GMs. Today what I want to do is I want to take a little bit more time and really explain the system as a whole, start to finish. As you're starting as GMs, there's going to be a lot of people who need something from you. And if you're the GM, and you've got this person, that person, this person, that person, this person, and you're going to kind of start feeling like you got to be all over the place, help all these people at the same time. What I want to do today is kind of start you from the beginning of the system and all the way to the end. This is really not how you want to do it because you'll end up trying to accomplish everything and not accomplish anything. So you really want to start with each person in your system. You want to start with them and make sure that each person is doing their job perfectly before you move on to the next. So their job, their job, their job, and don't handle everyone. Just start to move yourself down the list throughout your day and throughout the weeks as they come. So let's talk a little bit about today. I'm going to kind of split up who are the people you're dealing with, what are their jobs, and what's really important for them to get done. The most important person in your system is your SP1 leader. If your SP1 leader does his job well, the whole system goes really, really well for you. And if they do their job well, the regionals will have an easier time managing their reps. The recruiters will have an easier time bringing on reps. When reps come on, they'll be more engaged in learning if your SP1 leader is doing a good job. So you really, before anything else, you've got to have your SP1 leader doing a really good job. And so I'm going to kind of write up what his job is and what do you need from him. He's 100%. You need him to be an example. And what are the things you need him to be an example in the most is the 3 F's. If you've watched the SP1 training video, I showed what the SP1s need to be doing. He has to be the best at it. He has to follow his schedule. Number 1, he's got to follow it. He's got to follow it perfectly. He can't be a minute late to getting to area, and he can't be a minute early going home. He's got to use Sales Rabbit exactly how it was intended. He's got to use T-Sheets exactly as it was intended. So when the other SP1 reps are struggling, you can go and show them what their SP1 leader is doing. It's very, very important that number 1, they follow their schedule. Number 2, they focus. When they're out, they can't be playing on their phones. They can't be talking to their girlfriends. They can't be talking to their boyfriends. They can't be talking to their friends. They've got to be, when they're focusing on their job, they've got to be focused. For the 7, if they're an 8-hour shift, they may have an hour of lunch, but they've got to be focused during the hours that they're knocking. That's what you need from them when it comes to focus. And number 3, they have to have the most amount of fun. They have to really get out, and that means they're not going to have bad days, but they've got to be having fun. They've got to be, when they get a sale, posting in Slack or GroupMe or whatever they're using. They've got to be, having fun with the other reps. Hey, I'm smashing you today, whatever. They've just got to be having a lot of fun. These are the things that you need from your SP1 leader. This is what their job is, and they need to do it perfectly. If they do their job perfectly, you're all going to do really, really, really well. So the SP1 leader is the first person you want to focus on as you're going through who is the most important that you want to be talking to each and every day. SP1 leader is your number 1. Once the SP1 leader is doing his job perfectly, you want to focus on your recruiter, your SP1 recruiter. Your SP1 recruiter. Now that your SP1 leader is really doing his job right, you want to focus on your SP1 recruiter. And what I'm going to walk you through here is how the SP1 recruiter needs to be doing their job. There's 3 things that are really, really important for the SP1 recruiter. Number 1, the ad that they post. The ad has to be really good. It needs to be written in a certain way. I found the most success when I put the amount of money, if I'm hiring for a lead setter, It's, $18 an hour plus commission, or lead setter, $18 an hour plus commission. Then in the ad, the first 4 or 5 lines need to be what that person is going to get. Whether it's $18, so $18 an hour, maybe in parentheses, $12 an hour while in training. Benefits available, 401ks available, incentives, bonus, commissions, that kind of stuff all needs to get real quick so the person can quickly see what they're going to get. Then what the job entails, then a little bit sold on Brio. What is Brio? How fast are we growing? What are we doing? A little bit about Brio, and then a little bit about what their job would be. And then also, in the ad, there has to be a phone number and an email. I've seen where the recruiters get a little bit lazy and they say, hey, if you're interested, email me your resume here. You will lose half of your recruits if you do that. You do not want to let your recruiters only get email me your resume, because half of them won't do it. And you're gonna miss out on opportunities. So that's how you post an ad. These are some tips on how to post the ad well. Number 2 is the interview. Now there are 3 parts to doing the interview well. Number 1, one of the biggest problems I see when I'm teaching the recruiters how to do interviews is they bring someone in and they immediately start selling people on Brio Energy. Oh, you look great. Brio's great for this, and Brio's great for that, and people are making money, and Brio's great. It makes them seem very desperate. You just want to be very calm. Your interviewers, your recruiters in the interview, they just want to be calm. And honestly, they want to let people know that they probably got 30, 40 resumes and probably got another 30 or 40 calls for this position. So they're going to first, number 1, bring them in, and they're actually going to do an interview. How much sales experience do you have? Why did you apply for this job? Why do you think you'd be good for this job? You really want to do questions that leads you to whether you think, regardless of how good you are, don't get excited. Don't let your recruiters get excited when someone good gets in the door. When somebody good walks in the door, and they can tell just by looking at their face, they need to stay calm, they need to stay collected, and go through their normal questions and talk to them and do the interview. The second part of an interview is when they're going to sell Brio. And they're not necessarily going to sell Brio like, you got to work at Brio, it's the best, not like that. But they're simply going to use their computer, turn the computer to face the person they're interviewing, and just simply show them the week before. Hey, so here's our week before. Here are the reps that work in your office. This is how many they sold last week. So maybe if we're in San Antonio, hey, we have Shay. Shay sold 25 deals last week. We've got this guy who sold 15, this guy who sold whatever. And the way the pay, and then right there, we're also going to sell Brio and explain how pay works. Hey, for every one you sell that sits down, you're going to make $75 to $100 a kilowatt. $75 to $100 a sit down. So they need to go through how pay works and show them, hey, this is really what guys are doing, and this is how they're selling. That's why it's so important that your SP1 leader is really doing really, really well, right? So usually, as the recruiters are showing how much money people are making, this recruit is going to start to get excited. Like, wow, that's what they're doing? That's what they're making? That sounds great, man. I mean, so you're telling me your best reps are making $45, $50 an hour. Others, mediocre are making maybe 25, and maybe your worst reps are making 20, 21, 22, somewhere in there. Yeah, this is what it is. From there, they'll start to get excited. And then that comes to number 3. They're going to set a little bit of expectations. So yes, that's what people are making around here. And I just have 3 last questions for you that I want to ask. At Brio, we really believe in people really caring about their job and really doing it well, and caring and want to be a part of and really working hard. We really care about that. Do you feel like you can really care about this job, or is this going to be like some other job you've had where you just show up and punch numbers all day? Or can you really come and care? No, I really would care. If I was to take this job, I would care. Okay, cool. Number 2, are you going to do your best? Because we really only want to work with people who are absolutely going to do their best every single day. How do you feel about doing your best? Oh, I'll do my best all the time. Okay, cool. Number 3, and those are them, guys. What are the, number 1, care. Number 2, do your best. And number 3, Are you willing to sacrifice to be successful? Are you willing to change the way you've worked in the past and sacrifice to be successful? What you're going to find is if the interview goes well, even if the person's really good, they're going to go, yes, I'm ready. I want to care. I want to do my best. I want to sacrifice. I want to do that, right? And you say, okay, that's cool. Here's the thing. Like I said, I've got 30, 40 more resumes that I've got to go through, and I've got another 30, 40 calls that I've got to go through and do more interviews. I should know in the next couple of days, do not hire. Do not hire on the first sit. Never. Hey, thank you for stopping by today. I'm glad we got to interview. You do seem like a pretty strong candidate. I should know in the next couple of days after I've spoken with my area, my general manager, I should know in the next couple of days whether we'd be able to give you that job. Okay? Thanks for coming in today. Goodbye. Okay. Number 2, the interview. And I guess number 3 I kind of wrote, don't hire on the first sit down, but also general managers, make the hiring call. Make that last call, that final call, and recommit them to these first 3. Caring, doing your best, and sacrificing. Get on the phone with them, tell them what BRIO stands for again, and ask them if they really want to commit to this, and if they really want to work their best. So guys, this is the way that a recruiting program goes. And if it goes really well, you will bring in really good talent. If you are lazy through any of these things, and you don't pay attention to details, you won't hire a lot of people. So this is the step 2, SP1 Leader, now SP1 Recruiter, and now we're going to move into, and I'm almost out of paper, we're going to move into the SP1 Regional. And I might write a little bit smaller so I can get everybody on this page. SP1 Regional. So what's really important with the SP1 Regional? Number 1, the first part of their day is when they assess the reps for you. Number 1, they're going to start their day by assessing the reps. If you're an SP1 Regional watching this video, you have to do this correctly. Get into their T-sheets. Make sure they used it perfectly. Make sure they didn't clock in at home, drive to the area, drive home, clock out. Make sure they drove to their area, they clocked in. They worked their area, they clocked out. You also want to assess, were they even 1 minute late to getting to their area? If they were, your general managers need to know about that. They need to know about anything that you see in the day that might not be good. So how do we assess the reps? Number 1, T-sheets. Number 2, sales rabbit. After you've looked at their T-sheets and it looks pretty good, you're going to hop into their sales rabbit. And in their sales rabbit, you're gonna pull up that person, pull up all their leads for that day, and you want to look for some lazy gaps. If they've got 2 and 3 and whatever hour gaps in their sales day, your general managers need to know about that. They need to know exactly what's going on. The next thing that we're going to look at is a Gemini for their number of sales. Right? So if they worked hard and had a good sales rabbit day, and then their Gemini is bad where they didn't sell very many jobs, your general manager needs to know about that. That guy needs help. He needs help today. He needs to get somebody in front of him who can help him move forward and sell better right that moment. Okay, so that's really something. T-sheets, sales rabbit, Gemini, do really good full assessments on your guys and make sure that the general manager knows about it. Okay, you as general managers, make sure your SP1s are giving you a really good assessment of your reps. Number 2, the second thing that your SP1 regionals really need to be able to do is hop on and 30 minutes before that rep's shift starts, we want to call that rep or text that rep and just let them know, hey, we're 30 minutes out. Do you need a new area? Do you need lead sheets? Do you need whatever? Hey, are you ready to go for today? Do you have your sales slick? Do you have everything you need? Cool, you've got everything you need? Awesome, you're a stud. Thank you for working today. Thank you for whatever, thank you. Talk to you a little bit later, right? And get them out. And every rep needs this every single day. 30 minutes before they're scheduled. And so I guess along with this 30 minutes before, SP1 regionals need to have the schedule for their reps on Saturday, the Saturday before their shift starts. Guys, we are super open to people's schedules, But once they give us their schedule, that is set in stone. No ifs, ands, or buts. They call you and say, oh, I had this thing, whatever. I don't care. Then it goes to the general manager. Hey, general manager, this guy says he can't work today, whatever. I figure, pass that to your general manager. Let them be the ones who set that expectation past. But you guys have to let your guys know, guys, this is set in stone. If you need to change it, you're going to have to talk to the general manager about it. It's very important that you get a schedule and it's set. And 30 minutes before they start their route, you are all over that. Okay? Number 3. Engagement with the reps through Slack, checking a Gemini and seeing who's selling. Guys, you want to be all over a Gemini. You want to be checking a Gemini every single 5 to 10 minutes to see who's getting on the board and who can you congratulate and who can you, great job, get more, whatever. How often are you posting the company leaderboard in Slack, right? How often are you posting, hey, I know like the last couple of days, Nick Stelly's really been posting the company leaderboard in his thing. And Santonio is loving seeing all of their guys in that list. Right? So leaderboards, competitions, whatever you can get into Slack and a Gemini or whatever, GroupMe if you're still using GroupMe. Engagement. Engaging the reps. You guys are responsible, the SP1 Regional is responsible for the overall feeling of the day, the momentum of the day, all day. It's an all-day event. Get them happy, get them excited. Let them know you appreciate them. Let them know that you're watching, that you're rooting for them. They need that, okay? This is really the job of an SP1 Regional. If you as the SP1 Regionals do your job perfectly, man, everything goes really, really, really well. So this is how that goes. Now moving on to, now on the other side, and you know what, actually I'm gonna probably end this video right here so that I can change out the paper. But also move on to the more SP2 side of everything, the recruiting, the managing, the getting them going. But here is your SP1 stuff. Very important that each person does their job perfectly. In a business, guys, the difference between explosion and growth and awesomeness is literally just the details. The regionals do 90% of their job, we don't grow. The recruiters do 90% of their job, we don't grow. The SP1 Leader does 90% of our job and we don't grow. So we've got to really get into this and the SP1s and do everything you can perfectly. No laziness. Keep it 100%. I appreciate you guys and I appreciate you guys watching this video. Good luck out there.